your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
We have been given a gift by God today to usher in a new dynasty.
Now you get RFK Jr.
Don't you want a president who's going to make America healthy again?
You get Tulsi Gabbard.
Putting our country in a continual state of war.
You get Elon Musk and you get J.D. Vance.
A hell of a way to start the next 4 years.
The right-wing Avengers.
We have an army of digital soldiers.
Department of Defense under Donald Trump will achieve peace through strength.
Shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one.
The rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
The golden age of America has most definitely begun.
Begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay.
They're getting the dirtbags off these streets.
There's one guy who can fix this shit, and it's Donald Trump.
What's storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Wake up from the dream. Cage inside your mind. Can you hear it? Can you breathe it? The truth you left behind. Wake up, they got you sleeping. Wake up, the world is bleeding. Wake up, you're more than defeated. Wake up, the illusion's receding. Yourself now. Wake up, hear the call now. Wake up, tear the walls down. This is the war of the mind, the silent war of our time. Break the script, rewrite your soul. Take back what they stole.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Josh, and welcome to the Red Pill Project's Daily Dose, live with you Monday through Friday. And it is Friday. The weekend is here. Memorial Day weekend, the best weekend of the year, besides July 4th weekend, which is coming up. July 4th is on a weekend this year, so you gotta say that that's a great weekend as well. But it doesn't always fall on the weekend like Memorial Day. Memorial Day, if you didn't know, Memorial Day is my favorite holiday. It's where we give memory to those who came before us and gave the ultimate sacrifice. Remember that. And I celebrate it with a barbecue, with a big old fire, with fireworks, celebrating the lives of all of those who came forth, gave the ultimate sacrifice for freedom, for liberty, for justice, for this country, for you and for me. Man. Amazing time to be alive, people. We're watching this happen and unfold in real time. Lots of news happening today. The UFO files dropped, more UFO files. Nothing very significant in this. There's a lot of questionability, and I'll get into that towards the end of the show and show you kind of where the skeptics are kind of aligning in the correct nature with, but at the same time, the DOD is doing this on purpose. And we'll look at that in the context of the phases that are coming out and what we can expect in the next tranches and drops. Other news today, DNI Tulsi Gabbard is resigning. Yeah. Now, I don't think that this one is correlated or related to the other ones that we've seen, the firing of Pam Bondi, Joe Kent under investigation through the DOJ and resigning. I don't think that this is related. I think that this is something else entirely, and we're going to get into that. And I'll give you my thoughts on who I believe is going to replace DNI Tulsi Gabbard. I think that this decision wasn't abrupt. I don't think Donald Trump was surprised by it. I think that it's been coming for quite some time. And I think that preparations were already made for it. We'll talk about that here. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Number one thing, I got to go out there and I got to promote my website, man. I love this thing. I built it myself. And if you've ever built a website, like, this is a pretty badass website. So I built this myself, my website, redpills.tv. If you have not checked it out, redpills.tv. And we're all linked up on here. So you got our upcoming events, the Great American Restoration Tour 12. This is in Deadwood, South Dakota. I hope to see a lot of you guys there. That is coming up on June 25th and June 28th. You just click get tickets or learn more, and it'll take you into this information right here of how to get over to DART. And you can get virtual tickets or in-person tickets. And I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Then the annual camping trip. Yes, I think it's like the 5th or the 6th year that we've done this. July 24th, the 26th. Please RSVP if you are tentative or going. And yes, all of my OGs, I expect you guys all to be there. But there's just an RSVP form to fill out. It's absolutely free to come. You just have to pay your way to get there. RVs, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, whatever you want to bring. We're going to have a great time on the forest property. And it's in Eureka, Missouri. So check that out and go back to that homepage. And there's the Modern Occultism Workshop. There's another one coming up. The 5th Generation Warfare 5GW Workshop is coming up here in the next few weeks. I'll let you guys know when that comes out. Our Substack, I don't know if you guys saw this. I posted a few different kind of thought posts that I had. Number one is last week on the OG show, not this week, last week on the OG show, we talked about Randall Carlson's breakdown of the Great Pyramid. And so I did this whole expose on it right there, the Great Pyramid, Sacred Geometry, and the Forgotten Science of the Ancients. And if you want to check that out, you can read that one. And then the Recursive Breath of Existence, just a theoretical idea of nature, consciousness, emergence, AI, and kind of all of that stuff. They're two really cool articles that kind of come from my own mind and my heart. Hope you guys go out there and read them. But you can find them directly on the website. Then if you go over here, you can go to sponsors. Lifewave, obviously, thank you for all the supporters. I want to hear those testimonials, so get those over. Pet Club, your immune modulating mushrooms, guys. Get them. My mom's been taking them and absolutely loves them. I take them every freaking day. And then if you go down here, if you want to become a sponsor, if you want to advertise with the Red Pill Project or anything that we do on any of our platforms or get introduced to the other platforms, just come on over here and click on that and you can get on over there. Ways to support us. Just go on over to that support tab. There's PayPal and there's Give, Send, Go right there. There's crypto wallets down below there. All different types of ways to support us. and sponsorship. So if you go in here, partner with the shows that move audiences, you can go into that sponsorship tab right there under more. If you do want to sponsor with the Red Pill Project or help us out in that way. And we do send you our analytics and kind of our whole breakdown of our show and what we do, but you can put your information right in here. And hope to hear from you guys out there. And it's one of the best places to help grow small businesses. Badlands does that fantastically with all the small businesses that they support. Redpills.tv, redpills.tv. Now, some of you guys out there went and watched Michael Jaco's show yesterday with myself and Juan 07. And it was highly requested. So I've been going on Jaco and Scott and Nino and been doing roundtables with these guys. And everybody said, you need to do a roundtable with Juan. You need to do a roundtable with Juan. And it got back to Juan, and Juan's like, well, we should do a roundtable. I'm like, let's do a roundtable. So we did a roundtable last night. It was a great breakdown. And I do have a copy of that video. I will be posting it for this weekend. It'll most likely be in the non-premium stream. So keep that in mind that there will be two streams. There's the Fringe Binge, which is, I got a whole bunch of old Fringe episodes that nobody's seen in years. That's for our premium subscribers. So if you're a premium subscriber on Rumble or YouTube or Substack, you get access to that. For those on Social Red Pill and the other platforms, let me know. I can get you over there. I can get you guys the links and get you in there. So those are the premium streams that'll be going on this weekend. And then we have conspiracy streams, which is just kind of a wide open stream, but that's typically only on Rumble. It's only on Rumble and sometimes Substack because we can't play it on the other streams just because of copyright and all that other stuff. But it'll be on one of those this weekend. So just pay attention for that. It'll probably be the first show that plays, by the way. Okay, let's jump into the news. Yeah, Mr. Jaco gave you some nice compliments too, Josh. He did, and so did Juan. And listen, I've held my guns for many, many years. I've stuck directly on what I saw was happening, and I've been very honest and blunt with everybody. And I don't move the goalpost unless the goalpost is being moved by Trump. And it's coming to fruition now with everybody kind of giving the accolades. And I appreciate Juan and Jaco and Scott and Nino and all those guys and all the nice things that they're saying. So I appreciate y'all. By the way, there is an event June 14th and 15th, I think, or June 13th, 14th, and 15th in Las Vegas with Juan. You got a bunch of people that are going to be there. Jim Casaville, all of these guys. I'm potentially going to make it. I'm trying to go back and forth with Alpha about sharing a room in Las Vegas because we're both broke. You like podcasting. If you want to make lots of money in life, don't go into podcasting. But we're trying to figure out how to get out there and get to Vegas and do all that stuff and get a room. And so me and Alpha are talking about splitting a room out in Vegas. But I will let everybody know by Monday if I am going to be there. Plus, I got to buy tickets to the show. That's like $350. So we'll figure it out. But I got a very, very busy June. I'm going on vacation the beginning of June. Then I'll have that event. And then I have GART right at the end of the event. Then I leave for New York for 4th of July. And then we have the camping trip. So very, very busy next few months with traveling. Donald Trump today, unfortunately. And by the way, how many times has Donald Trump ever posted a true social post or an X post, starting with unfortunately? Unfortunately, after having done a great job, Tulsi Gabbard will be leaving the administration on June 30th. Her wonderful husband, Abraham, has been recently diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, and she rightfully wants to be with him, bringing him back to good health as they currently fight a tough battle together. I have no doubt he will soon be better than ever. Tulsi has done an incredible job, and we will miss her. Her highly respected Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Aaron Lucas, Deep Stater, will serve as Acting Director of National Intelligence for now. That's the announcement that came out from Trump. We had Tulsi make her own announcement. Very, very similar sentiment. She loves Donald Trump, trusts Donald Trump. It's not like what we saw with Pam Bondi got fired, so that's different. But Joe Kent, definitely not what we saw there. This is different. This isn't what we were hearing. And Laura Loomer came out today and she's like, I told everybody this was going to happen. And I said, no, Laura, see, what you did is you heard some intelligence. This is how Laura Loomer operates for people who don't know this. She hears some intelligence through her connections in DC. So the idea is that she was saying 2 months ago that Tulsi Gabbard was going to resign, which means that this decision that Tulsi has had, she's known about for at least 2 months and probably told the administration about 2 months ago that this was going to happen, but they wanted to move through certain things and get certain things completed before that happened, naturally. And what Laura Loomer does is she misconstrues this whole narrative. It's about Joe Ken. It's about this. It's about Israel. It's about Iran. When in actuality, this is about Tulsi Gabbard's husband. And you have to watch out for that kind of manipulation of information. Now, Mike Lee posted this morning before Tulsi Gabbard resigned. He said, the CIA is undermining DNI Gabbard. That's a problem, a huge problem. This came from Senator Rand Paul talking about Catherine Herridge reporting that our CIA whistleblower in testimony, the CIA appears to be illegally spying on the DNI Tulsi Gabbard's team, interfering with investigations on the COVID cover-up, JFK, MLK, and RFK assassinations, UAPs, etc. This is from Senator Rand Paul. Now, there's another thing Catherine Herridge and DNI Tulsi Gabbard were investigating. Catherine Herridge, follow the pen, Catherine, has been posting about this relentlessly for years. Tulsi Gabbard has been investigating this and been getting nothing but dried up ends from John Ratcliffe and the others at the CIA, and this is Havana syndrome. Now, there's a reason why they don't want the Havana syndrome stuff to come out. Primarily is because the frequencies utilized within this are very similar to Wi-Fi and cellular phones. But on the other side is that there is certain technologies out there right now that are highly advanced. And they want you to think that Havana syndrome is maybe Russian or Chinese. It's not. It's ours. And what you're seeing unravel here, I believe, is a larger conspiracy. And this goes back to what Alpha talks about and Colonel Towner talks about. The deep state, the clandestine aspect of the Central Intelligence Agency. How they keep a government in tow through force and coercion and through manipulation. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that a lot of fingers have been pointing directly to the Central Intelligence Agencies pertaining to COVID-19 cover-up, origin cover-up? Fauci is the one that overruled various people in the intelligence community and agreed with the CIA to cover up COVID-19 origins. Havana syndrome. They're covering it up, absolutely. You have them spying directly on DNI Tulsi Gabbard. They went in there and grabbed documents that were set for declassification and reclassified them and brought them back in, even though that was an act of Congress. You have the UAP information that is not being released, as well as, you notice there hasn't been a lot of FISA-gate information being declassed. And John Solomon came out just a few weeks ago and said, but we're going to have hypersonic clarity pertaining to FISA-gate, Russia-gate declassification, and it never happened. Well, one of the big reasons it hasn't happened is because of the Central Intelligence Agency. This is why I'm saying that John Ratcliffe needs to be fired immediately. And secondly, I have a feeling that Tulsi Gabbard's husband getting a rare form of bone cancer is not a coincidence. See, ask yourself this. Would the CIA ever give someone cancer to themselves or their spouse to silence them? It sounds insane until you start pulling back the threads. During the Cold War, the CIA openly explored assassination programs against Fidel Castro, including poison cigars, contaminated diving suits, biological agents, and collaboration with organized crime. At the same time, SV40, simian virus 40, was discovered in monkey cells used in early polio vaccines. In lab studies, SV40 was shown to cause tumors in animals, sparking decades of controversy over its potential cancer links. Now enter one of the strangest JFK-adjacent stories ever told. Judith Vari Baker claims she was recruited into a covert cancer research operation in New Orleans tied to anti-Castro activities. She alleged the project aimed to weaponize aggressive cancer mechanisms, potentially involving SV40-related research for use against Castro through contaminated cigars. She also claimed that Lee Harvey Oswald was involved and that she had a relationship with him. This is actually confirmed that Judith Baker was Lee Harvey Oswald's girlfriend. The story intersects with documented CIA assassination plots against Castro, biological warfare research during the Cold War, Oswald's intelligence-adjacent connections, Dr. Mary Sherman's mysterious death, anti-Castro covert operations in New Orleans. None of this definitely proves the theory, but enough surrounding pieces are historically real that the question refuses to die. Sometimes conspiracy theories persist because they are entirely false. Other times they persist because fragments of truth are buried inside classified history. With the DNI being targeted by the CIA recently and today's resignation due to her husband's cancer diagnosis, it really makes you wonder, does the future really prove the past? Now, if in the 1950s, the CIA had a virus that could cause cancer, simian virus 40, a virus that could cause cancer, what have they done with that over the last 70 years? They have something known as a heart attack gun, testified in front of Congress, pointed at somebody, boop, give them a heart attack. Do you think that they have the capability to put some type of modified bioweapon and target someone directly and give them cancer? I think so. Super chats coming in. We had 2 super chats come in. Thank you, guys. Amanda HQ on YouTube, $4.99 for the hotel fund. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Susan Bly's $10 super chat. Appreciate you guys. And I think we had one $20 one coming on Rumble. Boycott you tune, $20. Love Tulsi. Will miss her, but she has served their country well. She has absolutely served their country well. But I don't think that this is a coincidence. I think that what's really happening here is that she is having her hand force. She's realizing that this is very, very dangerous terrain that she's playing with. And she's on the radar of the Central Intelligence Agency. And also, at the same time, I mean, she is heading the Election Integrity and Infrastructure Task Force. She's finding out the truth about the 2020 election, which, by the way, is treason, and implications of this are like tribunals and death for these people. There's a lot going on right now, and she was the center point, very, very kind of silently investigating these things. So you got Florida's grand jury conspiracy case against the Obama syndicate that is unraveling right now. The chairman of the United States Intelligence Advisory Board is a guy by the name of Devin Nunes, who left Trump Media Group to take up that position. Now, what started out as a conspiracy turned into criminal conspiracy, then into treasonous conspiracy, and ultimately into seditious conspiracy, all at the behest of Barack Hussein Obama. Devin Nunes said, remember, what it was really about was covering up for Hillary's missing emails. That's what it originated with. And then it goes into the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment. It goes into the Mueller witch hunt. It goes into the Ukraine impeachment hoax. It goes all the way. We can just fast forward to the raid to Mar-a-Lago. And remember, I said this was about covering up the crimes of the Obama era, specifically the selling off of SAP programs and letting China into our country, which was the foundational treason that was portrayed. Devin Nunes, again, we also know that in 2016, when John Brennan came to brief us, and he briefed us on a supposed Russia thing that was going on, he was very vague about it at that time. Well, now we know, not that we didn't know at the time, but we know today that he knew this was a hoax. He knew that the Clinton campaign was playing a game, that they were trying to cover up for their emails. Now, why do I bring up Devin Nunes in this? Let's look at the timeline here. Laura Loomer comes out and claims that DNI Tulsi Gabbard is going to resign before the midterms. She gets that intel about 2 months ago. A bone cancer diagnosis isn't something that just came up abruptly. This has been going on with Tulsi and her husband for a few months now. The weaponization against Tulsi Gabbard. This is coming out, and it's coming out for a reason. Now, and you got to remember, the CIA was really pissed off that whistleblower went and testified. But who authorized that whistleblower to testify? It wasn't the Senate. It was the Director of National Intelligence that authorized that whistleblower from the CIA to testify in the Senate. So Laura Loomer comes out and says, oh, she's going to resign. So this means that the White House knew 2 months ago that DNI Tulsi Gabbard was going to resign. They most likely had planned 3 months, right? So 2 months out, 3 months, work for 2 months. Let's uncover the plot against you. And I think that this is indicative of what is being targeted on her husband right now, is that there was a plot against Tulsi Gabbard to take down Tulsi Gabbard. It was running on all different engines, but obviously we know that this was being ran by the CIA. So 3 months ago, we have this. A month ago, Devin Nunes leaves his position at Trump Media Group, comes in full-time over at ODNI. Then today, Tulsi Gabbard announces her resignation. She's going to stay for 30 days to June 30th, which means that an announcement most likely for your new DNI will come in July. Remember that timeline that we're talking about? July 4th, Revolutionary 1776. Who's going to be your next DNI? I think your next DNI, Director of National Intelligence, is going to be Devin Nunes. And if that's the case, watch the fuck out. Now, I would hope that it was going to be General Michael Flynn. But see, General Michael Flynn would actually have to go through Senate confirmation. Devin Nunes has way better chance to go through Senate confirmation as DNI. I mean, he was on the Gang of Eight, the head of the Senate Intelligence Committee, so he has a good positioning to become DNI. I think that one of the first things that Devin Nunes will do is fire John Ratcliffe at the CIA. And I think that you could potentially see General Michael Flynn come in as either the national security advisor to President Trump or as the CIA director. I think it'll probably be the CIA director. This is what I'm hoping. But I believe that your next national director of national intelligence is probably going to be Devin Nunes. I'm sticking to that one. Today, pro-crypto chairman of the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh, officially sworn in as the 17th chairman of the Federal Reserve. This is going to be interesting. This is one of the big keys to the plan of Scott Bessent and how to implement the next round of this new economic system that they've been building out. So we're going to see if Kevin Warsh is everything it's all talked up to be. Now, I got a feeling that it is. I think that he's going to come in and he's going to make some drastic changes at the Federal Reserve and remodel the Federal Reserve more away from the idea of a centralized bank and more as an intermediary between stablecoin companies. This is my thought. Speaking about crypto and all of that, we're going to still go on with Kevin Warsh here, but I want to go ahead, or I don't have the crypto ad, but I'm going to go ahead and just run this ad. And a disclaimer before I read this, make sure you read the fine print. They do charge a subscription, automatically renews when you do get this. So this is the Kids Guide, people, the Kids Guide. All right, parents, real talk for a second. America's about to hit a huge milestone. We're coming up on America's 250th birthday, 250 years of freedom, grit, sacrifice, and the greatest experiment in self-government the world has ever seen. This is the perfect moment to help your kids understand why this country matters, not just fireworks and hot dogs, but the story behind it all. There's a free guide called The Kids Guide to America's 250th Birthday, and it's honestly a great way to introduce kids to how America began, who the founding fathers were, what they risked, and why the ideas they fought for still matter today. This guide sends kids back to the moment when the brave men signed the Declaration of Independence, knowing full well they were risking their lives for freedom. It breaks it all down in a way kids can actually understand and enjoy without watering it down or turning it into to boring schoolwork. If you care about raising kids who know where this country came from and why it's worth preserving, this is something you'll want to grab. The best part, it's completely free with a special offer. You just need to pay the $2 for shipping and processing. Just head to freeusabirthday.com. That's freeusabirthday.com. And the Kid's Guide to America's 250th birthday is yours for your kids today. America's story matters. Make sure the next generation knows it. All right. President Trump on his comments on the swearing in of the 17th Chairman of the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh.
For the swearing in of our new Chairman of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, Kevin Warsh. Kevin? And I expect he will go down as one of the truly great chairmen of the Federal Reserves that we've ever had. I really believe that. I think he's got abilities that very few people have. We're so lucky to have him. The Federal Reserve is a pillar of the world financial system and the most important central bank anywhere in the world, with a history stretching back more than 100 years. It is truly the institution that's most looked to and most respected, and it's now taken on a new and even higher respect, in my opinion. And honestly, I really mean this. This is not said in any other way. I want Kevin to be totally independent. I want him to be independent and just do a great job. Don't look at me. Don't look at anybody. Just do your own thing and do a great job. Okay?
Well, I disagree with Trump on one of the most respected agencies out there. Definitely not. But this is one of the youngest chairmen of the Federal Reserve to come in. This is the 17th chairman of the Federal Reserve. And I believe he is going to make some massive changes to how the Federal Reserve operates, and work directly with Scott Bessent to bring about a new era within the U.S. economic system. Super's Cat 88 became a premium subscriber on YouTube. Thank you so much, Super Skack. Appreciate you. All right, let's talk about Iran for a second. And look at that right here. Glenn Jr. 13, $20 Rumble rant. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much, people. I appreciate you. All right. Two possible outcomes that we're going to see this weekend with Iran. Iran accepts Trump's off-ramp. He's already made significant concessions to basically just walk away from this. Number two, Iran rejects this. Trump bombs them one last time in another decapitation level event. Now, are there indications that something is going to go down this weekend? Yes, there's some big indications that something is going to go down this weekend. Today, it was announced that Ivanka Trump was reportedly targeted in an assassination plot linked to the IRGC-trained terrorist. The IRGC-linked Iraqi terrorist named Mohammed Bakr al-Saeed was plotting to assassinate Ivanka Trump as revenge for the U.S. killing of his mentor, Qasem Soleimani. He had a blueprint of Ivanka's Florida home, posted maps and threats online, and was actively involved in multiple terror attacks across Europe and the U.S. This is the next level persona vendetta terrorism, targeting the president's daughter to burn down the house of Trump. So think about this for a minute. Number one is you have this Iranian-backed IRGC Hezbollah commander who was plotting various different terrorist events across the country, including the assassination of Ivanka Trump. This comes out today, the same day that DNI Tulsi Gabbard resigns because her husband gets bone cancer. These are the globalists, the deep state, playing their game, attacking the Trump administration and going after the Trump administration. Now, Trump put out a post earlier today. I thought I had the post here. I don't necessarily have the post, but I can read it. While I very much wanted to be with my son, Don Jr., who's getting married this weekend, and the newest member of the Trump family, his soon-to-be wife, Bettina, circumstances pertaining to government and my love for the United States of America do not allow me to do so. I feel it is important for me to remain in Washington, D.C. at the White House during this important period of time. Congratulations to Don and Bettina, President Donald J. Trump. So Trump just canceled his attendance to his son's wedding abruptly today. 2 hours ago, President Trump was rushed back to Washington after canceling his weekend plans in New Jersey. In other words, Trump was at Andrews getting on the Air Force One to head to Bedminster and turned around and came back. To me, this is indicative that there's either a massive security threat or concern. Obviously, you had the news break about Ivanka, all of this stuff happening at the same time. Or you're about to see some military operations. Or they're about to jump in and go into Cuba and get Raul Castro, or they're about to take out Iran, or it's going to be both. Something is going on. We don't know necessarily what it is right now. Reports are coming out that the Trump administration is preparing a fresh round of strikes against Iran, and the signals are everywhere. Per CBS News, no final decision has been made, but Trump just canceled the attendance to Don Jr.'s wedding this weekend. He scrapped Memorial Day plans in New Jersey to go to the White House. Members of the military and intelligence community canceled their own holiday plans in anticipation of possible strikes. The latest U.S. proposal reached Iran Wednesday with a warning. Rejecting this final offer means strikes resume. And the word on the street is that they've rejected this offer. And basically, the idea that you have to understand is that there's 2 points of concession that Iran will not make, and that is nuclear weapons or uranium and the control of the Straits of Hormuz. And these are the 2 main ones that Donald Trump is trying to basically say is you will not have a nuclear weapon and you will not control the Strait of Hormuz. So what will we see if the Trump administration does act on this? You are most likely going to see more bombs drop than ever before on the IRGC. So the last few months when warfare was going on, one of the things that the Department of War was doing was mapping out the reactivity of the tunnel nature of how Iran operates, where their launchers are, where the storage supply centers are, where their commanders are decentralized and how they operate within command and control infrastructure. This was all being mapped out in real time. This is why the United States took it very, very easy on Iran to watch the movements and see what they're doing. There's also speculation that Iran has had a nuke, and they've had a nuke for a very long time. I've talked about this at length. So I think that if they do resume strikes, it's going to be energy and energy, transportation, infrastructure. So you're going to see the bombing of dams, roads, bridges. You're going to see the bombing of electrical generation plants, and then IRGC outposts, massive amounts of IRGC outposts, and then the decapitation of IRGC hardliner leadership, potentially even a replacement of the civilian leadership if Trump doesn't trust them. I think that even within the midst of this, you could even see a operation by special forces into the various areas that do have the uranium dust, the nuclear dust within them, and basically setting up a containment zone in and around those areas to where anything that goes in becomes a kill zone. I don't know, just speculation, like I said. If I was the Trump administration, I truly wanted to get the uranium out, I knew where it was, and I knew how to get it, and I knew how long it would take to get it, I would decimate the IRGC's capability to respond with aircraft or on ground. So transportation, big roads, bridges, highways, these types of things, electrical power generation. I would ensure that their IRGC members have to get put to work to protect the people and the civilians and to restore order there instead of actually worried about their military facilities. And that's when I would go into those military facilities and do what we need to do. Now, I don't know if that's what type of operation we're going to see. I think it's potentially what type of operation you will see tonight. Or I didn't say tonight, this weekend, potentially. Tina Peters' attorney, Peter Tickton, says those who know our elections are rigged are going to be pretty happy because we now have Maduro and his bookkeepers. Colorado is a captured state that has been taken by the enemy. We all know the 2020 election was stolen, but who stole it? It was China, Iran, Venezuela, Serbia, Cuba. The World Economic Forum, et al., the cabal. They were trying to destroy us, and now we're going to start seeing some things in the weeks to come that will make a lot of people happy because we now have Maduro and his bookkeeper. Now that went friends with Venezuela. They're extraditing people, and we're going to see the truth come out. I think that there's a lot of truth behind what he was saying there. Like I said, July 4th is that pinpoint in time. That's when I think everything's going to start kicking off. Thomas Speciale II, who serves as a senior advisor for the DNI at the NSSC, says he has seen the classified information, the manipulation of the Dominion voting systems. By the way, Thomas Speciale is the whistleblower on the 2016-2017 ICA. Okay, this is kind of what kicked all of this off. He whistle blew back in 2017. Currently, he's a senior advisor at the DNI for the National Security Council. So, and he's coming out stating that he has seen the information on the Dominion voting systems. He says that's why the Venezuelan raid is so important, as well as having the accountant, Maduro's bookkeeper, because they did everything they could to coup President Trump in his first time to prevent him from ever becoming president. But I believe as a man of God and a man of faith, and God has a plan for all of this, and that the 4 years of horror that went through with Biden was a way for us to see the level of magnitude of the corruption, and Donald Trump is about to come back. And that's from Sung Soo over there. But Thomas Speciale has seen this information, and it's not good for Dominion. It's not good for these countries and for these people. All right. Congressman Tim. He stormed out of a committee meeting last night. Why? Let's listen to his own words.
Mr. Chairman, could I say something at this point, or do I need to wait?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'll yield to you.
Okay. I realize what's going on here, and I realize that, you know, when you're not sitting at the table, that you're not heard, and I realize the deal has already been cut. But I want to warn our party. You know, we're in the majority, and we're not acting like it. And we'll be in the minority once again because of this kind of activity. And I'm disgusted that both sides of the aisle, that we're not allowed to, deals have been cut. And I think that's wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
He's pissed. And he's pissed rightfully so, because you have Congress and Senate selling us out. They're selling out Donald Trump because they're getting scared because the heat inside the kitchen is going up. All right. Right there. Help support Josh and the Red Pill Project. Give.redpills.tv. Give.redpills.tv. That's just one way to help support us. If you want to help support my trip to Vegas, appreciate you guys. So think about this. Just because we have congressional and Senate majority doesn't mean we're truly in power and control. Tim Burchett is saying this specifically, that, hey, this is still the uni party. You guys are making backdoor deals. What is this nonsense? See, the idea is that if you have a majority, Congress and Senate, there's no deals that need to be made if you just vote on party lines. The Republicans get everything they want and the Democrats can't do anything. That's what they did to us. President Trump speaking today. Listen to this.
Ever see it? They have cards on them for the Democrat National Convention, cards like bigger than your chest. Name, address, and everything you want to know about a person. They might even have a social security number. They have, that's to get into their convention. But for voting, you're allowed to go in, right? It's horrible. So it's voter ID, it's proof, a little thing called proof of citizenship, and it's mail-in voting is a disaster. If you have military, if you're going to be away, if you're not feeling well, if you're in any way disabled, absolutely we have it. We'll be very generous, but generally you got to go and vote. Otherwise, It's a rigged system. And that, in a nutshell, is the Save America Act. Not very complicated. Think of it. Voter ID. Think of it. Voter ID, proof of citizenship, and mail-in ballots are gone except if you need it. Now, I added 2 best ofs. No men playing in women's sports. That's nothing to do with it.
All right. The Save America Act. He's demanding that the Senate pass the Save America Act. And what did John Thune do yesterday? He sent the Senate home until June. 14-day paid vacation. Why not? And this came off the heels of Bill Cassidy, Senator Bill Cassidy, long-term Rhino Republican, losing his primary, and then Trump coming out endorsing Ken Paxton over John Cornyn. Huge. Why? Excuse me. Senate is the target. We don't have very many senatorial elections coming up, but enough to make an impact and a difference. I think what you're going to see is John Thune probably announcing his retirement very, very soon, as well as other hardliner senators that are rhinos or establishment-oriented, announcing their retirement very, very soon. Why? It just seems to be a trend that we're seeing within Senate and Congress. Right now, I think that you're seeing kind of a turning up of all of this stuff. You go back to January or November last year when I talked about the Epstein files, I said, look, you're going to get a little bit more of the Epstein files, and then it's going to be whoop, just like that. Why? Because compromise is a tool that is best used in the hands of President Donald J. Trump against the people that are potentially compromised in Congress, Senate, and in the bureaucracy. And that in and around July, August, September timeframe is when you're going to start seeing people resign, no longer seeking re-election, or having information come out on them. And remember, this works both ways. That's why you're seeing Tulsi Gabbard getting attacked like she is. I think that you're about to see a whole mess of congressmen and senators resigning or being indicted. Adam Schiff being one of them. John Thune, I think, is going to not seek re-election. I think that you're going to see many others follow suit along with this. All right. The UFO files. The Trump administration has released a new tranche of UFO files. So the DOW Rapid Response has been posting some of the older files. And, you know, I follow a lot of these skeptics, and I'm watching what the skeptics are saying and shit, right? And everything to them is a fucking balloon or a bird, right? Like, oh my God, it's a balloon. Look at the string. But the one things to understand about these videos that you're watching, some of them might be a balloon. Some of them might be birds. But do you really think a multi-billion-dollar ISR platform that's sitting on board an MQ-9 Reaper drone doesn't have an automated system to rule out balloons and birds or slow-flying objects? I mean, that'd be pretty bad if you have an MQ-9 Reaper drone kind of going over a target area and starts tracking birds automatically when you have like a vampire inbound or something, right? These platforms, they have filtering mechanisms which basically say, hey, that thing's going 20 miles per hour. It's, 6 inches long. It's a bird. Don't track it. That thing's a balloon. Don't track it. But this is what the skeptics don't get. And the biggest reason why the skeptics get to play this game, I'm gonna bring this out in a minute. This is gonna be is because all of the sensor data is actually being censored, is being redacted. What do I mean by that? If you go look at some of these videos, and funny thing is I don't have any of them up here. Here's a good example. Let me bring this one up. Let me bring this one up. Because this is a great example. Then I'm going to get into what the DOD... I want to get through all of this because I want you to show you what they are doing and how they're doing it, okay? You see all this redacted information up here? This is flight sensor data. This is airspeed, wind velocity, all of these things. They redacted that. And what you get is you get this object that looks like a balloon through an IR sensor. The problem with this one specifically is, number one, is they show it right here just briefly. And this is the DOW teasing the shit out of people, okay? Because you have a close-up from most likely a Reaper drone. This is a UAP from December 2019. The East Coast is likely derived from an infrared sensor aboard the U.S. military platform operating with the United States Northern Command Area of Responsibility 2019, right? So you're going through it, and then all of a sudden, what happens? It switches. Oh. So it switches from FLIR to clear view. And I think there's like a little dot indicator right up in here that you can't see of the object. But then it goes immediately back to the FLIR video. And it's like a zoomed up FLIR video. Now, the problem here is like, if you look at this thing, it looks like a balloon. It looks like there's a string dragging down. It looks like two balloons right there. But here's the problem with that. Number one is you wouldn't be able to tell what the hell this is because you don't have the sensor information. You don't have the wind speed. You don't have the airspeed. You don't have any of that information. The appearance of it moving pretty fast, whatever. Okay. So is the DOW just spamming us with nonsense? This video is a balloon. Yet there's a big problem with that explanation. It appears thermally intense. A balloon should not usually present as a strong concentrated IR target unless heated, metallic, carrying electronics, or reflecting energy unusually. Okay? It does not show obvious passive drift. This is the biggest problem. A balloon should generally move with the wind. If the full video shows course stability, speed changes, or motion inconsistent with wind, the balloon weakens fast. In other words, the string, okay, if you go back to this video, I'm going to blow this up for you. I'm going to bring this on the big screen. So this is people who are untrained on these types of things that don't understand it. If you can see that string, okay? See that string that's kind of like hanging down there that's going? If that was a balloon, that string would be going backwards like this. If the wind was pushing the balloon, then the string would be going forward because the string is way less massive than the actual balloon that's with helium and it's dangling. The string is doing nothing but standing straight up and down. It's moving as one single entity. In other words, there is no drift that is occurring. This thing is moving on its own accord. And people are like, this is a distraction. It's not a distraction in the context that you're thinking, okay? The shape is not clearly balloon-like. In the frames, if you look more like a compact glowing object than a round latex or mylar balloon. Agreed. The IR balloon may hide structure, but it does not visually screen balloon. There is no visible tether, payload, or string. Weather balloons, party balloons, surveillance balloons often have attachments. Nothing obvious appears beneath it in the frames. Yes, it appears to be this string, but you got to remember, you're looking at it through an infrared camera. If something... let's just say that it utilizes some type of propulsion system that is ejected downward. What we're seeing as an actual string could be part of its actual system integration. It was tracked by military sensor platforms. This is the biggest part. Military infrared systems are not just phone cameras. If operators or analysts flagged this as a UAP, they likely had more context than still frames, motion, range, altitude, heading, and possibly radar correlations. That is when you see the blue water. This is what we're saying. They have more than one video on this. They have clear water video. What does that mean? It means that whatever this was, it was not a fucking balloon. A random balloon over the ocean is possible, but less the wind data shows it plausibly drifted there from land or a vessel. And the brightness remains incoherent. So let's go into this for a second. Break this down because I want to show you. So what I'm trying to show you right now is that, number one, the skeptics are coming out like, it's a balloon, it's birds. Not so fast. Birds don't do 283 miles per hour over water. And they're like, well, no, that's not relative velocity. Well, you don't know the relative velocity because you don't know the drone or the F-18's velocity because they redacted it. They did that for a reason. They did that for a reason because yesterday I told you that Eric Weinstein, Sam, whatever his name is, and Lex Friedman, right? That a group of these science-oriented influencers were approached by the federal government and asked to help in the dissemination. Keep that in mind. Eric Weinstein, other scientists were asked by the Department of War, the government, to help with the dissemination of this information because it's a very real phenomenon. I bet you 100% that those same people that recruited those scientists to disseminate this information as UFOs and UAPs as a real phenomena, they went to Mick West, they went to Shermer and all these other people, recruited them and said, this is nothing but birds and balloons, debunk this stuff. They recruited both sides, and they're controlling the dissemination of information on both sides. But then they're doing something else, like this shit. This is the Department of War rapid response. They say this file contains 116 pages of documentation from the Armed Forces Special Weapons Program, AFSWP, the direct post-war World War II successor of the Manhattan Project, and from the U.S. Air Force relating to a series of sightings and investigations in Sandia, New Mexico from 1948 to 1950. Now, why is that part so important of what they're talking about here? Number one, this is at Sandia, before National Labs, post-World War II, at the end of the Manhattan Project and transitioning the Armed Forces Special Weapons Program. In other words, you have Oppenheimer, Ed Teller. These are the guys that are here at this place watching this, making these reports. The file contains 209 sightings of green orbs, discs, and fireballs reported near the military bases. Witnesses reported unidentified anomalous phenomena, maneuvering, flying out of sight, disappearing, and exploding. The documents also include the result of contemporary investigations in the residual copper powder found in some areas where sightings were reported. This is what actually brought about the basis of Project Grudge. Okay, what else do we got? So obviously there was that one. We got the Central Intelligence Agency Intelligence Information Report, IIR, that describes human intelligence gathering activities around the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. The report characterizes its content as informational, not as finally evaluated intelligence. In section 14 of this document, the source describes an incident occurring in the summer of 1973 where he allegedly observed an airborne, luminous, bright green, unidentified object. The source described concentric circles forming around the phenomena over a period of several minutes before it dissipated. During his 1962 Mercury mission, astronaut Carpenter freaked out over mysterious white particles floating outside of his capsule. They look just like snowflakes. Some of them are going faster than I am. Their motion is random. He kept seeing more of them drifting past the ship. Here's a great one. I love this one. This is a good one. Headquarters 12, Tactical Air Command. This is your Tactical Air Command, okay? Subject, night phenomena. This is 16th of January, 1945. Commanding General, 1st Tactical Air Force. The following is quoted from training and tactical information supplied by the 415th Night Fighter Squadron for the month of December, 1944. We have encountered a phenomena which we cannot explain. Crews have been followed by lights that blink on and off, changing colors, etc. The lights come very close and fly formations with our planes. They are agitating and keep the crews on edge when they encounter them, mainly because they cannot explain them. It is requested further information is furnished on the subject, such as familiar experiences or with other night units. Now let me explain what I think is going on here. The DOW is releasing this information. They're releasing very vague, just IR captured sensor video. Grainy, hard to see, can't tell what it is. They're keeping the speculation alive. On one side, they're recruiting various different scientists, influencers, and saying, hey, this stuff is very, very real. Disseminate it and get it out there. On the other side, they're going to the skeptics and recruiting them and saying, hey, this stuff is fake. It's just balloons and planes. Make sure you put that out there. And they're producing this public discourse on this information. What that does is it brings about these two parties, the scientific community that's told this is very, very real, you need to disseminate this information, and the other people on the other side, the skeptic community, which is typically scientific community, that are saying it's not. It produces a massive public discourse where more scientists and more skeptics get pulled into it. And what happens is, over time, you begin to see that the paper trail evidence is pointing that, hey, this is a real phenomenon. There's something going on here. This shit is not ours. It's very well real. Okay? The video phenomenon is going, I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. It's kind of like, So what you're seeing is a 2-point kind of dichotomy occurring here. The very minimum, this admission is stating that some type of anomalous phenomena was and is happening around sensitive military installations. That is 100% absolutely clear. The DOW is stating that with all of these old documents that are saying that, hey, anomalous shit is happening around military fighter craft, military aircraft, and military bases and nuke facilities. On the other hand, they're showing videos that they've captured with the least resolution, grainy damn videos with all the sensor information deleted out. And this is producing a massive public discourse. People are starting to engage and talk, and they're debating back and forth. And then what happens? The next tranche, you get a little bit more information. They open up the sensor information. Hey, wind speed, airspeed, all of this stuff. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get a collaborative front of people to look at this information that are both in the scientific community that are skeptics and now believers. And they're bringing them together with levels of information, paper information that is showing that it's truthful, video information that's showing, I don't know. And they're producing this discourse within the public because I believe that the next tranches of information over the next 3 months are going to come out and validate this. And what you're doing is you're getting all eyes on target. You're bringing all eyes on target to look and see what is actually happening. And this is where the investigative framework begins to come in. Now, is this balloons in birds? No, they're not balloons and birds. If they are, then the DOW is fucking with us. And I highly doubt that they're screwing with us. But it's very, hey, go take some MQ-9 Reaper data of some birds flying. Okay. It doesn't really happen, guys. But it's possible. And I know my buddy who's a Reaper pilot is going to probably text me here in a little bit going, we do it all the time, dude. Who knows? I'm going to run this one really quick, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of banks holding your money, delaying transfers and limiting access, you're in control. If you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you've felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all of that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download the Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Appreciate it, Rumble. All right, guys. DNI Tulsi Gabbard, I think that she was targeted. I think that her husband was targeted to get her to resign and step down. It doesn't discount the information that she did. I think Devin Nunes is coming in as a replacement. I think you potentially could see a return to Mike Flynn as a national security advisor, or if Ratcliffe does get fired, which I think that it's set up and primed for Ratcliffe to get fired, you could see Mike Flynn coming in as a CIA director. UAP, UFO information. The paper documents from the past are laying out a phenomena that's very, very real. And then it's being backed up of modern day video information that is retaining the skeptical nature. I think that this is going to be validated over the course of the next, I would say, 3 months. Iran, I think that eyes on Iran and Cuba this weekend. I think that military operations are probably going to go down within the next 48 hours. That's my honest opinion on that one. Going out there, if you guys go over to redpills.tv, that's our website, redpills.tv, ways to support us over there, PayPal and give.redpills.tv. And all of our sponsors are over there as well. Lifewave, life.redpills.tv, and petclub.redpills.tv, and then give.redpills.tv. Appreciate all the support, guys. You guys are amazing and awesome. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I'm going to try to get a conspiracy stream up tonight. It'll be a conspiracy stream tonight. And then tomorrow we'll do the fringe bins. I got to upload a few more videos to get them up. I got some good ones. And I got all the old Insomniac Hour ones. And what I'm going to try to do with those is I'm going to put them on a private channel for all of our premium subscribers. And the reason is because there's people on those shows, co-hosts and stuff like that are no longer with us. And I know I want to respect all of them in their time. So I want to just kind of put those on a private channel instead of having those out in public because they get mad when I post them. So just keep that in mind. But so what we're going to do is we'll have conspiracy streams and fringe bins this weekend. I will see you guys Monday. Monday. So there's probably a show Monday night. Monday's Memorial Day, but I'm probably doing a show Monday night. Just letting you know. Yes, probably a show Monday night. Sunday night is probably not a show for Q After Hours because it is Memorial Day weekend. I might have to talk to Alpha. I think that's where he's going to go, but I don't know. I have to figure that out. But I'll keep you guys updated and let you know. But much love, respect. God bless. Take care. Have a great night, guys. And we're going to see you guys next time. And Nathan's show, Quantum Biology, coming up tomorrow on this channel. So pay attention for that coming out as well. Good night, guys.
There was a time when our children stood tall, hand on their hearts, one voice for all. There was a time when honor had weight, when the flag was a symbol, not a debate. There was a time when our history was known, with pride in the rules that made us our own. There was a time, respect for the brave, for those who bled, for the lives they gave. Now the homeland burns in silent war. Truth is twisted, we can't ignore. Through the smoke, a voice still calls. We the people will not fall. There was a time, but the time isn't near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, veil under. Patriots rise. We are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light. There was a time when truth was clear, when the media served, not ruled by fear. There was a time when leaders stood fast, guarding the people, defending the past. Now corruption wears a crown, lies are fed to tear us down. But Q said watch, and Q said see, the soul for a last prize. There was a time, but the time isn't near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, the veil undone. Patriots rise, we are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought. Telling our children what it was once like in the United States where men were free.
There was a time, the time is near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, veil undone. Patriots rise, we are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light. There was a time. There was a time. Now is the time. Do it.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation. I want you to get mad.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
These people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"